It doesn't kill you, it trades you. The host isn't slain, it's harvested, drained, exploited. Some are left alive, barely breathing, barely human, just enough to be harvested again. The rest, dried out and reshaped into something else. But now, they have a new plan, a new structure, a new purpose. In this video, we'll uncover the truth behind a towering monument of horror, a cathedral of catastrophe.
The massive cyst that surfaced last month has now become a cathedral. Look closely. This structure breathes fog into the air, shaped like bone, with fungal mycelium walls and fluid-filled sacs. Record this in your grave codex. It is called the node chamber. Its height ranges from 8 to 20 meters, but in hives that have reached their peak, node chambers can grow as tall as 50 meters. The node chamber is the final transformation of a nex host that has undergone the graft covenant. It is not just a structure, it is a symbol of power, granted directly from the hive. A sovereign cathedral, grown in the name of infection. Node chambers can only be grown upon flesh soil. To spread this corrupted ground, a sacrificial unit is needed, one capable of deploying the cryoseed rapidly. That unit is the nex host itself. It gives its life to ignite the soil. To understand this further, see episode 2. At the top, a horn stands tall, etched with glyphs of contracts and encoded signals. It has a digestive maw to consume biomass, processing it into raw matter for bioform creation. Unlike the central hive, the node chamber is fully autonomous in bioform production. Each form is incubated in the bioform bladder. One of its larger tumors functions as the hemocrypt condenser, where flesh drudge units deposit their harvested hemocrypt. Like the hive, it houses its own Aussie heart, pumping hemocrypt through the entire structure via the crypto veins. It breathes through vents, spreading spores and releasing fog laced with bioform particles. Smaller cysts have begun forming around it, waste management nodes growing from the corrupted ground. To create its fog-borne bioforms, it requires a steady supply of substranium and hemocrypt, which means it must remain linked to the main hive's resource stream.
Agent, you must investigate this zone immediately. I've marked the location on your map.
Urgency is rising. Something critical is happening over there. We return once again to the cryoseep hive region. Look closely. There, a line of flesh drudges stands in formation before their hive. It appears the hive is initiating a substranium transfer through its graft port. The hive injects a slurry of substranium from its bioform bladder directly into the graft sac of each flesh drudge. Once fully filled, the flesh drudges quickly depart. We must follow them. They're heading toward the node chamber. The digestive maw structure consumes the substranium payload the flesh drudges carry. In exchange, the nex host repays the hive with hemocrypt, sent through crypto vein transfer embedded within the flesh soil's mycelium network. Meanwhile, to keep the flesh drudges functioning and stable, the nex host feeds them nutrient gel and hemocrypt cores. Once the exchange is complete, the flesh drudges leave again, but one final ingredient remains missing. They still need hemocrypt fuel. It's time we monitor every move these flesh drudges make. Stay alert, Agent.
There are still civilians left in this village. We need to evacuate them immediately.
Copy that. Understood.
We split up to search the area, but something's wrong. The bioform fog here, it's far too dangerous for any living creature. Survival chances are minimal. Let me show you a terrifying phenomenon. This fog is not natural. It's a bioform engineered by the cryoseep node chamber, a mist called cryospore. When civilians inhale or come into contact with cryospore, they suffer intense hallucinations and violent seizures. Victims experience emotional memory disruption, and eventually, they grow comfortable in this altered state. Cryospore is especially effective on Tier 3 and Tier 4 suspects, those already weakened or mentally compromised. Its hemocrypt yield efficiency, HYE, is low, meaning it requires mass exposure to generate significant hemocrypt. However, its metabolic cost, MC, is extremely low, allowing it to be produced in massive volumes. As a mist, cryospore spreads silently and invisibly. It boasts a high subtlety index, SI, and wide range of influence, ROI. It also maintains effectiveness over multiple host waves, giving it strong survivability and reusability, SR. Cryospore carries specific hormonal agents. Frost Calm induces a soothing, tranquil state. Tier Inhibin biologically and mentally suppresses the host, locking them into Tier 3 or 4 status permanently. This gives cryospore a high dependency factor, DF, as hosts remain trapped and endlessly exploitable. However, its host conversion ratio, HCR, isn't particularly high, since it's only effective on lower tier targets. And because it deals no physical damage and offers no offensive advantage, its tactical utility, TU, is considered low. Still, it is a horrifying form of bioform warfare, psychological, parasitic, and quietly consuming. But something even worse is coming. Much worse. Just wait. You've been watching it for hours, and finally, it appears, a flesh drudge. The creature unfurls its siphon organ. It plunges the instrument deep into the host's hemocrypt-producing areas, vertebrae, femur, sternum. Then, the extraction begins. The hormone cryodrain surges first, increasing hemocrypt output as the host descends into stress and hallucinations. Then, hemovoke kicks in, forcing the host to produce hemocrypt in extreme volume. The precious fluid is siphoned and stored inside the flesh drudge's graft sac. Sometimes the host is spared, left to wander and become exposed again to produce more. But if the host is dry and useless, it is drained completely. Then comes the final injection, a dissolving compound that liquefies its cells. What's left is no longer a corpse, but a husk chamber, a half-fossil, half-organic carcass, its anatomy restructured into an altar of horror. From its belly, growth conduits sprout, calcified tendrils reaching outward. Its jaw is dislocated, its eyes sunken and dark. A cyst protrudes from its abdomen, swollen with fluid. The legs have melted into the ground, fusing into the terrain, birthing flesh moss around the area. A husk chamber is more than a tomb. It becomes a flagpost, declaring Hive dominion. It seeds flesh soil, spreads spores, and marks the land as claimed. Then, the flesh drudge walks away. We follow. It returns to a node chamber, their destination, the hemocrypt condenser. This condenser structure absorbs and deposits the harvested hemocrypt from flesh drudge. The exchange is still the same, only differing in the type of material being exchanged. The circuit is complete, a cycle fulfilled. But make no mistake, this is no sign of peace. Something darker is rising.
The new year begins not with fireworks, but with a thick cryospore fog rising into the skies. A cold, pale storm of death. More hosts will fall, more minds will shatter, and the cryo-seep will harvest, relentlessly, endlessly. It craves only hemocrypt, and now, it knows how to get more. What will the cryo-seep do next? We're about to find out.